course of the weekend. All right, Seahawks-Raiders. Seahawks favored by 3. 48 is the over-under. This one's in London, by the way, at the new Tottenham. I said the other day, is it Tottenham? It's Tottenham, I'm sure. Soccer stadium, which has 60,000 people. How many stadiums are in London for soccer? Like, I grew up in New York, and there's not that many huge stadiums, but there's some. I feel like every block over there has a soccer stadium. This is me totally being an ignorant American right here. Not knowing
there's a ton of teams in the Premier League, so they all have to have stadiums. Yeah.
Right. But they're not all in London. Tottenham is, I guess. But anyway, have fun if you're watching it there. We still don't know if Sean and the guys are going to trek to that game. It's like, I talked about this with Ryan the other day. I was like, oh, they're in England. That means like the game's around the corner, right? So, but they're not in London. So, anyway, so I'm glad Sean's not watching this live today. You'll have to watch it later. You'll be like, what are these idiots talking about? All right.
We have no idea.
Seahawks, they've been losing close games. Last week they had a good fight with the Rams. We talked about the potential of that happening. The Raiders have been losing close games to last week, and the Chargers just kind of made them look bad, and Carr looked terrible. Seahawks, we had some did not practices Wednesday. KJ Wright, their linebacker, and Rasheem Green, defensive end, did not practice. So I look at this game and I go, the Raiders are bad. The Seahawks are kind of mediocre. That's where I'm going, is the Seahawks, and there's not much more to it than that.
Yeah, and it's hard to, those London games kind of get weird too, because it kind of screws with me as far as like, there's obviously no home field advantage there, and it just who travels better, who's a better coached team. And I don't think the Raiders are a well-coached team at this time. I mean, you saw them pull that kind of Pete Carroll Seattle thing with Marshawn Lynch at the 1-yard line last week. I think Gruden his return to the NFL has been kind of an unmitigated disaster. I think the bloom is off the rose with Derek Carr, like you mentioned, and I think just the mojo is all bad with this team. I mean, ever since you let go of Khalil Mack, it's like this whole team has been on such a downward trend, and it's hard to see how they recover. There's so many injuries they're going through. I just don't like this team. I think they played well in spurts, and I've kind of talked about that every week. I kind of go back to that. Remember that Rams game? They played okay for a half, but man, they just haven't shown any sense of improvement. I just don't. At this moment, I'm not a big fan of what Gruden's doing there.
I'm not either. And I don't know how things get. And it's so funny how every week he goes, man, we really need to get to the quarterback. I don't know what we're going to do about this.
It's a parody. He must be that. He can't be that like not self-aware to realize what he's saying, right?
So it's gotta be a joke. I think Rachel Nichols from ESPN was on Twitter the other day and said, all right, he's trolling us now with this stuff, right? He has to be.
What's the point? Like, if he is, like, what's the point of even saying that? You're just kind of showing the spotlight on what a bad move that was.
Yeah. All right, so Seahawks are both of us on that one. And early going, we got mostly Seattle picks.